Hey everyone, this is my cat Meow, and I love him. This is my dog Opie, and I love him. I also have another cat, but it scratched me and doesn't really like me, so you know, I couldn't hold her. Well, anyways, let me talk to you about something very important. Imagine if this wasn't a dog and that wasn't a cat. Imagine if it was something exotic like a wolf and a lynx. Well, it might be cool to have those things, and they are really cool looking and different from the other things that people have. But it all could also hurt the ecosystem around me, and it could also hurt the economy around me as well. Let me tell you something about the world illegal exotic animal trade. So, the wildlife trade, which is illegal, negatively affects the economy and negatively affects the eco-life and ecosystems surrounding them. After seeing on the news about invasive species such as iguanas basically terrorizing the eco-life around Florida, where iguanas destroyed plants, which stopped other species from being able to eat and led them to starve, I decided to do some research more on invasive species and came across the illegal animal trade, which actually messes up ecosystems and economies by introducing invasive species to certain regions that aren't supposed to have them, and I decided to do some more research on it. So the illegal wildlife trade consists of people poaching animals, injuring animals, taking their parts, such as bones, skin, blood, various parts. It could even stretch to plants, seeds of the plants, extract of the plants, even leaves of the plants that aren't supposed to be there. It could even stretch to blood, which it's somehow seen as a medicine in certain parts of the cross of the world. So what poachers do is they kill these animals or injure these animals, such as rhinos. I know a lot of people know that rhinos that have big horns in the front of their mouths, on top of their mouths, and a lot of people in China and in Asia and surrounding regions believe that the horn possesses medicinal purposes, which has been proven false for a while. They believe that it has medicinal purposes, so it's in high demand over there, which leads poachers to kill rhinoceroses or even just cut off the horn straight off, leading rhinos to bleed and eventually die. And it just causes the species to be endangered. Right now, rhinos are one of the most endangered species out there, very close to extinction, and we don't want that because it could mess up the ecosystem and in the regions they live, like in Africa. So they gather these and they gather them as goods. They could be sold as souvenirs to tourists, or like I said before, medicinal purposes. Now, when I say goods to tourists, it could mean souvenirs where a tourist comes from a different, like maybe America. They can go to Africa to buy a rhino horn. They could come and say, oh, like, hey, this has magical powers. So people from all over the world are coming to Africa to get this rhino horn, and it just leads the poachers to see that it's in high demand and kill more and more. Now imagine the impact that would have on an ecosystem. So one of the ways that the illegal wildlife trade hurts the world economy is through the use of illegal hunting and fishing. So when you're illegally hunting or fishing, it could actually lead to decreased supply of animals or fish that are used for food. If you're illegally fishing and you catch more fish than you're supposed to, it could lead the fishing companies that fish for food that are licensed to charge more for their food, which in turn raises the food price for almost everything around them, the production costs, the actual food costs, the packaging costs. So in turn, everything's starting to get raised, and it's not a good thing. One example of this is that 1 kilo of caviar in 1999 actually only costed $1,000. 20 years later, now 1 kilo of caviar is around 2.5K to 3.5K. This is a huge difference. Back then, caviar was seen as like a delicacy, and now it's even seen as a rare delicacy because of the price. Myself, I don't think I've ever even tried caviar because of how much it costs. That just goes on to show you that that it's getting pretty pricey now. Another way it hurts the world economy is the use of through the market of money laundering. So money is being exchanged, illegal money is being exchanged by the purchases of animals. So if I buy this exotic, pet monkey, but I have drug money, I could give the seller a lot of money to try to clean that money. So instead of the money that I had made in my country, it could be circulated around the world, and the U.S. isn't going to be making money that they produced. So in turn, it hurts the world economy since that money's not being accounted for. Another way that that it hurts the world is through the ecosystems. So everyone knows that ecosystems are a vital part of our world. They're supposed to work in harmony. The same way, a fish gets eaten by a bird gets eaten by a fox, and a fox gets eaten by a bear. That's called harmony. I know it seems pretty sad, but that's just the way nature was built. Well, if a bird is brought over to a region that it's never been to, and it eats the food of another bird, that bird could go starving and messes up the whole balance of it. The bird that went starving, there's less of those birds, so that this fox can't eat, doesn't have anything to eat, and if the fox doesn't have anything to eat, it'll starve and die, and the bear doesn't have anything to eat. So then it just messes up this whole cycle and this perfect harmonization of the ecosystem. So all in all, I believe that the illegal wildlife trade can hurt the world economy and the world eco life and the ecosystems around it. I honestly think that this is an issue that we should be presenting more often. Try not to romanticize the animals that you see on social media, like when you see a really cute like flying squirrel or a ferret or any animals like that that aren't domesticated, because these animals have lives, and when they are introduced to another region, they don't know they're doing wrong.